Hello there, and it's Gabriel, and I'm here with a technical frisbee workout. It's Saturday, and we're getting some weather coming up, so I thought I would, or I had a dream where this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So here we go. I did my warm-up, which was 2 videos ago. So in this video we're going to do some technical frisbee movements. So I just did a jog, and then I did the warm-up. And then typically when I start this part, I call it like the dynamic, and the whole frisbee team would line up unless we're going to really demo something in depth. Like in the beginning of the year you kind of don't just do it as a routine, you do it more as like a teaching exercise, but I'm going to do it, I guess more as a teaching exercise and less as a routine. So I would say the first technical thing you should do if you're preparing to play a field sport or any running endeavor is running technique. And my favorite thing with running technique is isolating, just like with any technique you want to isolate. So you get that self-efficacy, you build in chunks and skills, and then you get the broader capacity to perform. So the first running exercise you can do is just sitting on your butt, or you can squat and just you want to go ear to pocket. You can bend your elbow a little bit, but mostly you're just going, it's pretty clear. And you do that for like 30 seconds at a time in a squat or on your butt. And you might feel your core a little sore the next day because your core has to shift your weight to get that torque in your shoulder. So if that's good, the other thing you want to have is your range of motion in your knee. So you can just literally do this as an exercise. Hold this for 30 seconds, hold this for 30 seconds, and then you can kind of work through the work through your motion. So it's a knee raise, leg extension, pull and drag, and then back up to a 90-degree knee. So then obviously you do that one on both sides. So if you're comfortable with that, you can actually get next to some kind of object like a camera stand, and you're not really gonna be able to see this, so maybe I'll angle it a little, or I don't know. You can kind of put your hands against something and then practice knee drives on alternate legs. So I can kind of do it against the ground. You might be able to see a little bit, but if there's a wall here, I'll get a different angle. Because when you're running, you want to lower your center of gravity. So you can do these on the ground. It's called an ice climber. Or you can do this standing up, but you don't get that angle. And then most people do these against a wall or with the resistance band, with resistance running. So you get that angle, the declination angle. And then you get more of a true running form. But I'll just show you the ice climber. So ice climbers are like this. Just drive your knees up, and then you try and hold one with your knee kind of up. And if you're doing those against a wall, I would say do 5, where you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold it, and then do another 5. and hold it. You want to do an odd number so you have an alternate knee at the top each time. Okay, so that's some technique. And then most people or track runners will do a lot of skipping because it's less load on your joints, I think. Less cyclic loading. So skipping, what I would say are the important things are using your arms and then driving your knees, pretty much just like running. You're just adding an extra step. So there's something called an A skip and a B skip. I don't really know which one is which, but I'll just demo them both really quick. And also, I'm a big fan of backwards skipping. Yeah, because when you move backwards, you get that strength in your negative, and just like baseball pitchers have stronger triceps, so they can get a good wind up and decelerate their arm after the ball's released. You always want to work on your negative in any sport, whatever you're doing. It's not all about power, it's all about control. That's how you stay uninjured, which is something I'm not that good at, so don't really listen to me too much about this stuff. Tim Morrill is a much better resource. He's pretty much the person who educated the people who educated me about all this stuff, so check out Tim Morrill. Alright, so maybe you did some skipping, that's cool. Skipping's really good. There's really no limit to how much skipping you can do that benefits you. You can vary it for height, for distance. You can add a reach. You can, yeah, those are the main variations most people do. So, if you're doing this kind of like as a warm-up, you'd probably do some jogging, you'd probably do some high knees, which is just skipping with, I mean, it's the same thing as skipping, but same thing I just demoed without the extra step in there. Instead of a step hop, it's just step, step. And then butt kickers, I mean, all that stuff's like pretty self-explanatory. And then you probably do some shuffling. So I don't like really harp too much on shuffling because you're never in like a pure shuffle when you're playing a sport. But the main thing is just not to cross over your feet and just to get a little bit low. You don't have to really get super low in your warm up because in a game, if you're all the way down here, you're not really making a play. So like, really like when you're shuffling, you want to be able to move up and down. You know, being able to drop your weight is just as valuable as being able to shuffle low the whole way. So some people do like a low, slow shuffle. I think that can be overkill personally, but that's fine. Okay, so now we're getting to the good stuff. These are the more helpful change of direction pieces in my mind, which are the where you're really isolating different parts of your turn. So a turn, typically you want to get low. You want to be rotating your hips before you stop. So you're getting low, you're rotating your hips, you're kind of doing a couple extra steps probably, and then a big push driving your knee, coming out of it. Okay, so as you stop, you're pushing off this foot. So you can do just like a lunge. You can do a negative lunge. You can also do a side lunge. And these are kind of like negative side lunges, or what we call in Frisbee an outside foot push. Or a outside foot push, whatever you want to call it. Because typically you think about turning on your inside leg, so you want to have more of your weight on your inside leg, and then your outside leg you just want to push and then get a big push off your inside leg. That's gonna give you momentum. So, okay. An outside push is actually pretty simple. It's just like hard to do. If I'm standing here, I'm gonna just raise one leg and then push onto that leg, and then raise that same leg, I just push off. Alright, I'll do some sideways, maybe give you a better angle. So the higher you raise your inside leg, the more distance you can cover. Your inside leg's just pretty much stopping you. So you're going like so whereas you want to straighten out the leg you're pushing off your outside leg while you're doing it, you pretty much want to have your inside leg bent the whole time, like you will when you're doing a turn. So that's half your turn, but the more explosive part of your turn is the inside foot push. So here we go, we're going to show it. So the hard part with these is that you have to lean. It's lean, push, knee drive. So I'm leaning on my inside foot. Like let's say I just did an outside foot push. In a real game, you're gonna not raise this leg off the ground. You're gonna have it pretty much right there, ready to plant. You're gonna lean all the way. You're gonna rotate and lean and rotate as far as you can, and then get a big push. So I'll do one going the other way. Gonna lean. And then if there's no fence there, yeah, you guys can't really see that far. Okay, so I'll do one where I'm running towards the camera. Here we go. So the idea there is you want all your weight to be on this foot and have leaned as far as you can by the time you swing that knee across your body for the knee drive. Let me just check how much time I got. Okay, so that's like 2 separate skills, and then you can combine them into a lateral skip, or just do turns. And you can also just do those individually. Like I would highly recommend you just work on those individually, where you set up cones like 5 or 10 yards apart, and then you just go outside foot push, outside foot push. And yeah, it's not really about speed, it's about technique and how much power you're getting per step there. You can just do as many as you want. Okay, so if I'll just show a turn and then I'll do the skip. So with a turn, okay, it's probably easiest to just run right at the camera. Okay, so with a turn, I'm gonna come out of my run into several pushes. So I'm going to go outside foot push, a small inside foot push, because I can't just change my momentum on a dime if I'm running full speed. So you kind of end up doing something like that where you are getting an inside foot push, but you're waiting for a couple small steps before you really put an explosive one down. So, okay, so I'm gonna get low. Hopefully you guys can see this. Do one more. And I'll do one coming across the camera. Okay, hopefully you guys got some good views there. I think I got to about here, yeah, you can see that. So, I would say you want to do like a few sharp turns in your warm-up. Anytime you're doing like a there and back, focus on the turns. Yeah. Okay, so lateral skip. So lateral skip is just, instead of just push, stop, I'm gonna go push, 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 push. So the difference between this and a shuffle is that on a shuffle, it's a pull. It's push, pull. So I'm going push, pull, where your inside leg or your front leg is pulling. This one is, you're pushing on both sides. So it feels awkward because like inherently it's just easier to pull. But for turning, it's faster to push. So basically the reason it feels weird is because you're not angling your body. Like it doesn't feel weird if you go lower and then you go push, pull, push, pull. So I meant push, push, sorry. So you just combine the two. I'll do one going away from the camera, I'll do one going towards the camera. So this is my leading leg, my inside leg. My back leg is my outside leg, so I'm going outside foot push, inside foot push, and then I'm gonna cross over knee drive, but I'm not gonna turn. Instead of turning, I'm just gonna stay parallel. My feet are gonna stay parallel, and I'm just gonna keep doing push, push every time. So there's an exercise you can do with this one, where you set up like 3 cones. Maybe you guys can see my crude 3 cones. Then you try and put a foot in between each one, and you're going push out every time. So push, 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 push. And it's hard. Okay. That's Josh Norman right there. So yeah, with any of these workouts, you're gonna watch corners play. Like any cornerback, corner, C-O-R-N-E-R, or any wide receiver, and they do fun workouts like this. Okay, skipping. Okay, I'll just mix it up now. These aren't stuff that are that imperative for Frisbee, but that's most of the Frisbee stuff. You can also do some like forward reverse kind of stuff where you're going, getting low, plant, push backwards, plant, push backwards. So the point here is just being able to stop quickly. Because in a game, probably not going to backpedal through that. You're probably going to turn. So in a game, it's probably more likely you go push back, crossover, inside foot push, but you get the idea. It's just a warm up. Okay, so now I'm going to do some jumping. So I'd say hopping is not a good idea for a warm up or broad jumps, but hopping is like insanely good for everything. So you can hop in all 4 directions. So just you know, the higher you get, the harder it's going to be, and you just want to be balanced. And then yeah, you can hop forwards and backwards as well. You can jump over things, you know, put a water bottle down.